Hello, good people. Welcome to our show. Hello, bad people. Welcome to our show. We don't care, bad, good. I even don't know I'm good or bad. Sometimes I'm bad. When I have bad mood, especially with all changes that we have today, many things are going fast. We need to adapt. We need to find the way. It's tough. Sometimes it's tough because it's tough to recognize what's going on with all these platforms. And I don't think it's a good idea to try to chase all trends and to keep doing something that can work. So I'm so excited to discuss a lot more with Harry Sanders. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, big pleasure, big pleasure. Sorry that I invited you when you have night because I have
No,
morning.
it's all good. It's all good.
That's cool. But what I can see, people who are passionate about that, they don't care about day or night, Saturday, Sunday. So I can work on Sunday evening, on Saturday night because I love it. So it's my passion. So and I know some people can say that digital marketing is boring. It's not boring. Just leave the change to something else that you like more. So if you love it, then results will come. Harry, I know about your success with SEO. You built companies, $20 million. Many great results. So can you tell our listeners more about you and anything that can help them to find the right way?
Yeah. I'll give you where I am now. So I founded a company called StudioHawk when I was 17 years old. 10 years ago now? 11 years ago? Far out, how time flies. And now StudioHawk has about 120 different SEO specialists across Australia, the UK, and the US. We're one of the largest independent agencies in the world. We do over $20 million in revenue, work with a lot of big brands. Um, and that's StudioHawk in a nutshell. So we just do SEO. We don't do paid or anything else. And then I've also got another business called Caddy Luggage, which is a consumer luggage brand in Australia. So yeah, SEO has been a big part of my life. I fell into SEO at 14 playing a game called RuneScape, if anyone knows that game. Hell of a game. And haven't stopped. People say they get bored of SEO. I've been doing it for 15 years now, and I'm still learning, still loving it. So yeah, to echo what you said, I really don't think you can get bored. You just got to find what motivates you.
Nice, nice. I think if someone can think they learn everything, they have a huge trouble because
Yeah,
yeah, things are changing. Things are changing so fast, especially in digital marketing. I compare to many different niches like accounting, many others. Things are changing, but slowly, very slowly compared to digital marketing. I think everyone can use today ChatGPT, AI search, many great AI tools that can help to bring results. And Harry, you mentioned about having plus 100 employees, a lot of offices around the world. Can you tell about management? I know it's tough to manage people in different time zones, how to
yeah.
encourage them, motivate, and yeah, anything about your style of management.
Well, yeah, it's funny you mentioned at the start when we're talking about it's night here. It's what 8 p.m. time of recording this. I'm a bit of a night owl. I love that. I think of 8 p.m. like London hours. My London team just woke up, and then in 5 a.m. my US team's just winding down their day. I think going back to management, look, I've got a very hands-off management style. That's what I've developed, or what works for me. But I mean, there's so much to cover off in terms of talent development. It's a topic that I love talking about because I think it's not talked about or discussed enough in the SEO community. This idea of like, hey, you're really good at SEO. You've got these clients. Like, how do you manage people? Is that the next level for you? Or maybe you've got an in-house team and you've got some budget to hire some people. It's a topic I think is a really good one. My view and my philosophy on it has always been it is much easier to, to hire coachable people that you can coach to do SEO your way, rather than just trying to hire people with a lot of experience. Because as we all know in the SEO world, experience doesn't necessarily mean that they're great at SEO. They might just be really good at doing checklist style of SEO, or they're very good at doing some very specific part of SEO that's not really relevant to what you want to do. So I love this idea of training up people. And I've been so incredibly lucky to have some of the most incredible world class specialists that have gone on to win all sorts of industry awards, who started as juniors with no experience and barely knew what SEO was.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, because my style is quite different. I usually
Mm.
prefer to find people who can solve problems. So I have the problem, I can share this problem. Um, and I had a big struggle when I need to teach someone, but they don't research themselves
Mm.
to find the right solution. But I love to cooperate with people who can spend their time to find the solution, because we have many different problems. When you spend your time to help others to find the solutions, you can lose focus on your priorities. So, but I think like you can find some people who can learn fast. Can you tell your methods? How you find these people?
Yeah, so we hire at StudioHawk, we call them wholesome nerds. We try and hire wholesome nerds. Whether that we love video gamers, we love people who play video games because they are great at grinding for long-term rewards or constant slow progression. And shit, SEO is nothing but constant slow progression.
Yeah.
You don't wake up tomorrow and you're just number one for everything, or like getting index in or getting reference in all the AI, engines. It's a long monotonous task that takes months or years. We measure it in months and years. So people that play games often get that, right? That grind and that constant gradual progression. So we love those people. But honestly, wholesome about any, like nerdy about anything, is kind of what we look at. But we tend to take those hungry wholesome nerds and coach them. I definitely understand your point about, it's great to have people that go out and research things, but a lot of the time it's hard because those are great people, they're awesome, but when you're scaling a team, to 120 plus people, you need a system for
Okay.
getting these people in, right? It's I wish I could just pluck people in and go, that person's gonna work, but you really, like, we invest a lot into learning and development. We have a full-time person whose job is to build a learning and development system and processes and onboard these people, and we have like what we call a junior boot camp, and not everyone makes it through that, but the ones that do are the really good ones that we can then go on and progress. But the biggest thing that I've seen in my career in talent development has been having a very clear progression plan and very clear training. Like nothing keeps people like progression and training.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, it's a good idea. And I want to ask the last question about the team, because I think it's important topic for my audience as well, especially today when many companies are looking for replacements with AI agents. Especially, for example, we made a study that in the US in 2025, big tech companies fired 65,000 people. I mean, like Amazon, Google, IBM, Microsoft laid off 9,000 people, IBM 8,000 people. And it's not because these people are bad. They're smart people. It's really tough to join such big companies. You need to have a real good mind, understand many things, but AI replace them. It's true. AI agents can replace these people. And in my company, I did it as well. I fired some people because of AI. It's not when ChatGPT was released, I asked everyone, please play with AI. Find things how you can automate the process, because this thing can replace you. It's not because I'm bad, because some AI solutions can replace people. And I like the quote from Elon Musk. He said, because many experts can say AI just assist humans. Not. AI can replace them, and AI agents can do it today. So, can you tell how you encourage your team to provide AI automation? How you put AI in your system? I mean, like to improve results, to get much better speed and quality.
Yeah, I mean, there's a million things I could say about this. Look, AI is this hot topic, and it's freaking cool. Like, it does so much cool shit. It can do things so much faster, and you can integrate it in your workspace. And I won't go into all the stuff that's been covered before. Like, we have teams of people that are in charge of building new workflows and all that kind of stuff. I think people talk about that. As a big company with a lot of staff, I think about this daily. I think about how can we get more efficient? How can we get more productive? Could we replace stuff? Actually, this is a good angle. So we we've got StudioHawk's grown a lot, right? So we've got a lot of big enterprise clients, and we've got a lot of clients, small $1,000 a month retainers that we had when we started out, right? Now they're not at all profitable for StudioHawk. In fact, we calculated we were losing hundreds of thousands of dollars a year trying to service these small accounts, right? Because we just service them at an enterprise level. It just doesn't make sense. Instead of getting rid of them all, I said, I took one of our top seniors and I said, I want you to try and create a service offering for these guys using AI, right? And we started what we call Early Bird, which is a side agency of StudioHawk that services these agencies. And the idea behind it was to try and figure out how we can disrupt StudioHawk. Like, rather than getting disrupted by some other competitor and wondering how the hell they did it, why don't we try and disrupt ourselves? And that way we can kind of learn from that. So that's what we did. We built Early Bird. A year later, it's been maybe a year and a half. Early Bird is a great product and it helps a lot of those smaller companies and they can get success where previously they probably wouldn't have such success with such a small budget. However, we've changed maybe generously 20% of StudioHawk's processes by things we can do better or faster with AI. But the bulk of the work still remains focused on strategy, client communication, things that we found that AI wasn't so good at doing. I do believe that in 5 years' time, most operational work of SEO will be hopefully replaced. But is that such a bad thing? Like technical SEO, frankly, is so much like bullshit. A lot of it. It's just like it should have been automated, could have been automated. It's great now that we have AI to help automate those nitty gritty tasks so that we can focus on more meaningful, more interesting things. So that's how we've seen it in StudioHawk at scale. We actually, to the best of my knowledge, and I'm not fully across everything, have not replaced any staff due to AI. I'm trying to think if we hired less. No, not even juniors. A lot of these big companies are not hiring juniors because they're not as valuable. I would agree with that. They're not as valuable in the short term because the stuff that juniors previously did, we can use AI for. But I think that's such short term thinking because we have a talent problem in SEO. I think we can all agree. We say in SEO, there's a lot of hustlers, but not many masters. There's not a lot of incredible SEO specialists that we can just pluck out and hire. So that idea of hiring juniors is still very, very relevant to us, even though AI can do their work, because eventually those people become seniors. So
Yeah, got it.
that would be my comment on a lot of that.
Okay, got it. Okay, let's get back to AI search. So, according to data, AI search, I mean, like, it's quite different for traditional search that we have. And some experts can say, no, SEO is geo. It's not like geo. Some experts can say, no, geo is a new thing. You need to do things differently. So we have different opinions. I'm between them. I think like geo is a new thing. It's really a new thing. I can't accept that it's SEO, but the foundation is the same: quality, technical optimization,
Yeah.
link building, PR. So but what you can see, according to data, AI search prefers fresh content. So it's very important today to update as much as possible. Sometimes even 6 months published article can become obsolete according to data. So can you tell about your process for content creation, especially updating content?
Yeah. So I think I agree with you. I think it's moving to like, and it has been for a while, this idea of digital authority. We've seen this since Google did the helpful content update, which is their way of like preempting us for what was going to happen with AI. Google doesn't want to see a shitload of content. It wants to see very focused, like topical authority. It wants to see topical authority. It wants to see very focused, relevant content that you've got expertise in and experience in. That's in a particular area that you're an expert in, and you can update that content and resurface it so it can give it to users. It doesn't want websites that do everything for everyone. It doesn't want to rank one site for every query, despite what us SEOs would love to see, right? I'd love to rank for every single topic. It just isn't realistic. So what's my content process? Look, again, outside of rehashing typical things like using AI for ideation, but then going through and using editors. I think there's still a lot of value in using really experienced written content. Like StudioHawk ranks really, really well. .com.au in Australia, like we rank for every SEO term, and that's just because we write about, we stay in our lane, we focus on SEO, we talk about that topic, we talk about interesting parts of that. But it's not just that. It's when people think about content, they think blog. It's not just a blog. Like our case studies page is unbelievable. The amount of leads we get. So we get 10% of our leads now through AI search on top of SEO. So of all our leads of the company, and we get hundreds a month, 50% now come from SEO and AI search. Previously, it was 40% SEO. Now it's 40% SEO and another 10% of AI search on top of what we were previously getting through SEO. And those people are mostly coming through very specific queries that are coming to our case studies. So building out case studies, building out those about pages, building out the FAQs, stuff that you might have heard before is just so important to build out that topical authority and keeping that content fresh and updated. I think it's more a consolidation effort. Instead of previously just pumping out content, it's also now about consolidating the content you do have and making sure it aligns and is relevant to what people want to pull. That's how we're looking at it now, for sure.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Harry, I want to ask about specific cases. I mean, like, for me, I can see a good sign of everything what happened because you mentioned about topical authority, but I saw many times when websites publish content like 101 about specific niches. Like, for example, let's imagine what is SEO, like Wikipedia style, to explain something for topical authority. When I ask them why you do it, the common reply, we need to cover this topical authority, we need to cover, but I disagree with this strategy. I think like you can get topical authority with a bottom funnel as well, or at least medium funnel. So, but can you tell about your methods of covering this topical authority?
Okay, so my idea of topical authority might be a little different. So I'll be very specific. Topical authority is not SEO 101. That's not, what the hell is that? That's just, dude, a waste of, like, do you think Google wants another guide of like SEO 101? Why would they want that? Now, if SEMrush publishes that, they might index that. Why is that? Ask yourself. That's because SEMrush is a big brand and they might have more of a unique perspective. But if you're a small business just publishing like SEO 101 to rank for SEO, that's going to do nothing. What I'm getting at here is, in this day and age, it's not good enough to just publish content. It's certainly not good enough to publish content that everyone else can publish. If I can just get the answer from AI and that's your blog post, then scrap that. That's not topical authority. Topical authority is what is something only you can say with your unique perspective. Now, I spoke about earlier on this podcast, I spoke about having a team of 120 people. There are very few people in the world that have a team of 120 SEO specialists. I have a very unique perspective on that, and I can publish content around that. That is a very, that's an example of topical authority because you're getting that idea across. It's something that only you have. You might not have a team of 120, but I guarantee you there's something that you have very relevant, specific experience in that you can talk about, and that becomes that topical authority. So don't regurgitate the same shit that everyone else is saying. No one needs another guide to href lang tags. It's been done a million times. What I want people to cover is your unique perspective, whether it's, we've published white papers on AI search. Now you might go, oh, that's a bit generic, but it's not when you compare, like, we've got 1,000 different clients in different niches that we can draw learnings from. That's interesting. People want to download that to get that unique perspective. At the end of the day, Google doesn't love content. I actually read this quote the other day. Google does not love content. They don't care. Google likes users engaging with content, right? So don't look at the content as in like, oh, what's Google going to like? Think about what a user might read. And I don't mean this in like a, I mean this in a serious way, like in a genuine, or the user might read and interact with. That's the content that Google wants to see.
Yeah. I want to ask about AI-generated content. And let me share my evolution of creating content, because I remember in 2008 when we started, we wrote some useless stuff. very generic. It's not because I wanted to write this useless stuff. I didn't have experience to create high quality content.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that worked well. Google ranked high, all our content, we got great results, a lot of sales. But when Google started to pay more attention to quality with Panda in 2011,
Yeah.
many things changed. We improved as well.
Yeah.
According to all updates. In 2019, I stopped cooperating with all copywriters because of EEAT. So expert authority trust. So we started to cooperate with experts who know the topic, who can bring something new, valuable to the customer's table. When ChatGPT was released, many experts say, no, this tool can't bring value. It's generic, nothing special, just rewriting. But today, I can see a different picture because I can accept ChatGPT or Gemini 3.0 can write much better than me. I spoke with a bunch of experts who can say the same. Yes, AI can write better than experts. But anyway, AI still needs a driver. So it's a good machine, a good tool. But what I can see when people don't have experience with creating content, for example, I cooperated with some big accounting companies, Fortune 500 companies in the US. So, and people with plus 20 years of experience, knowing everything about accounting, but they didn't have a writing background. So basically, they just ask generic questions on ChatGPT and can create non-boring content, readable content that people can love. So basically, it doesn't matter what kind of value you can bring. If it's boring, people leave it. You only have like 3 seconds to convince people to keep staying on your content and consume until then. So
100%.
yeah, and what I think about AI generated content, I never disallow my writers to use AI. Use it, of course, use it. It can help to increase the speed. But I know some companies can tell, no, you just write manually. For what? If you can generate high quality content with AI, you just need to encourage others to use AI, but to fit with the right data, the right prompts, and bring value in them. So for me, it's important to bring value. So can you tell what you think about AI generated content today?
Yeah, I think it's exactly so. Put shit in, get shit out. Like, what do you expect? It's like saying, it's like when spreadsheets came out and Excel was a big thing. It's like, oh yeah, Excel's can crunch numbers better than 100% of accountants. Yeah, goddamn right they can. But they need data. Same with ChatGPT. You can create whether you think it writes really nicely or you don't like the way it writes, there's a different prompt for get it to write a different way. What it comes down to is what's the information you're giving it. If you're just giving it, it's not necessarily a prompting thing. If you're just giving it or asking for very basic generic stuff, that's not interesting. Who's that interesting to? Anyone can go into ChatGPT and get that information. Again, it comes back to the unique perspective. What's your unique perspective that you can feed into AI to help it write this amazing piece? Like, I could feed it some really interesting data. I'd be like, hey, I want to write a piece around, look, I've analyzed our, client base. There's 500 clients. I've seen a massive dip on the about page. The about page across our client portfolio has gone down 20%. Help me create something about that. Here's the data, right? That's awesome data to feed AI. It's going to come up with something awesome. It's going to look at that and come up with something. If I'm just like, hey, write me an SEO blog post, what do you expect it to do? It's not going to have access to that data. How's it going to do that? So on the internet, if you're like looking around and you see this one post by StudioHawk analyzing, decrease on traffic on about page, you're like, well, that's freaking cool. Or another post about what is a keyword? What are you going to click? What do you think people are going to click on? What builds more topical authority? But yeah, I think you can use AI for content creation 100%. I think mass producing content using AI is probably not a great strategy. Again, you're just kind of hurting your topical authority unless you have a lot of really amazing, incredible things to talk about. But I think it's quality, not quantity. Even though you can mass produce using AI, it doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, nice. Danish asked a good question, but Danish, I just want to have a logical structure. We will ask this question when we will go to PR, link building, and building brand authority. By now, I just want to ask more about content creation, especially today, because we need to update content fast to bring value. And I want to ask about blogging. For example, for many years, I use blogging as the main strategy to get traffic because, according to data, Google brings most traffic from blogs to blog content. So plus 60% of all traffic are coming to blog content. But today with AI search like Google AI mode, ChatGPT can reply to these questions fully. So it's not the same experience when you have, let's imagine, title description. It's not enough. People need to click to get the entire picture. But today when Google AI mode or AI overview can reply to these questions, users don't need to click. They don't need more information. Of course, AI mode can share links. But nobody clicks to this. Someone can click. Okay, but CTR is too low. And my main question about blogging, what do you think about the strategy today? For many years, I don't know how many blog posts we wrote, plus 10,000 probably. We got millions traffic, but not sure about the strategy today. Your thoughts about blogging?
So, look, I think if you have a blogging website, I think that's a tough business right now, right? Like a content website, man, it's not something I'd want to be doing right now. Especially now that Google's very aggressively saying that they really just want to index businesses, right? They want to index real businesses. That's why they're so focused on this, having an about page, having a contact page, having a legit company, right? That's what they want to serve to users. So this days of like SEO blogs are pretty numbered. Having said that, I still think a blog is useful, not because of traffic that you'll get from it, frankly. I think that now you're getting less and less, and in 5 years' time, you're going to get less and less traffic directly to a blog post. However, Google is interested in creating a circular economy. What that means is they need content, and they will find a way to reward publishers for publish good content. I know for a fact that on our website, we've got quite a big blog with a lot of content, and a lot of different people coming through that every month. We still publish content because it, again, coming back to that topical authority, it builds out the amount of keywords we rank for, and the amount of keywords we rank for, and the amount of FAQ things that pop up, which therefore means that in those AI queries or those like fan out queries that it performs, we get a bigger slice of that pie. So while we're not getting rewarded with that blog traffic, our conversions haven't dropped at all. And if you look at SaaS brands that we work with, same thing. They're getting less traffic, but their conversions have increased. So why is that? Well, the value was never getting the click on people that weren't going to convert anyway. Like, yes, it's a shame you can't retarget them. I know. What are you going to do? I can't do anything. But having that blog and keeping it, assuming it's quality, is still going to send good signals, and therefore traffic to the commercial sections of your website. So I wouldn't sleep on it. Having said that, is it the killer strategy that it was 10 years ago? No. Do I recommend every e-commerce brand to have a blog? No. It's different for different things. Like for StudioHawk, like if you're a service-based business, have a case studies page. Like it would be dumb to not have a case studies page as a services business. I don't care if you're a lawyer, an accountant, an SEO specialist, build a case studies page, build an about page, build specific services pages. That's the playbook for a B2B services company. That's just what I would do. But it's going to be different for different niches, right? But yeah, I think the blog's still very relevant for a SaaS, for a B2B, for something like that. It's still a great resource.
Of course, 100%. Especially, I think like SEO can become as an extra channel, because for many years SEO was the main channel. But if you write blog posts not for the sake of SEO traffic, but for the sake to bring value, it works for any other channel. So we have Medium, we have LinkedIn pools, many other channels. So email marketing, newsletter. So you can get customers in different ways. So yeah, I think like, but I mean like. Only the way of writing blog posts for the sake of SEO is that, yeah. But if you love it, if you know how to bring value with blog content, so you can get customers in different ways. But Harry, I want to ask about loan. blog content. I mean, like for many years, many studies from Brian Dean, many others show that if you write long content, it ranks higher. It doesn't mean that you need to write long content for the sake of getting this SEO traffic, because of course, if it's boring, if it's not valuable, nobody cares about that. But anyway, according to data, long content ranks higher. But today we can see a different picture. Different picture, because studies can show that AI search prefers entities, and you mentioned about keywords. Probably your prediction about keyword research will be that soon. I mean, like, how much time you can give to this keyword research tool that we have, like on SEMrush, Ahrefs, many others, and about the length of blog content.
Yeah, I mean it's a loaded question. So let me tell you more specifically. So you're asking more about are you asking more about the death of keyword research, or more just how you'd incorporate that in the blog?
I think, like, yeah, we can divide this question to two sections. First, keyword research, your perspective about that, because what we can see today, Google AI, Mod, ChatGPT, Perplexity can change behavior of asking long questions, because for a long time, Google didn't understand long questions enough. That is why people use keyword. That was replacement for long questions. But today you can ask long questions and get the right answer, because AI can understand long questions. So people are changing behaviors. So it's not that yet, but I don't know about future. Probably people are changing behaviors, and for now what I can see, my wife, my son can ask long questions. They stop using keywords. So I'm doing as well. If I ask anything on Gemini or ChatGPT, I ask long questions. I never use keywords. So people are changing behaviors. So what do you think about keyword research?
Yeah, no, I agree. They ask long questions. They're very specific. Like previously, you would never put in very specific stuff, because you just know, like, probably no one's ever like asked this before, or has some comment, or has content about this. Now we are, asking those longer questions. Not just longer questions, we're getting way more personalized results. Very, very personalized results. We did this test a couple weeks back, maybe a month back now. We asked 10 people in a room, and we said, hey, I want you to use AI, and I want you to buy a new couch. I want you to find a new couch you want to buy. And 10 people went out and they searched, and you know how they searched? Completely freaking different. Completely different queries that they put into, we use ChatGPT, but Gemini, whatever. And then once they did that, we said, okay, great. Now we want the 10 of you to use Google to find a couch. And guess what they all searched? Best couch Melbourne, which is the city we live in, right? It was like 6 people searched the exact same keyword. None of them had any similarities in the phrase that they used. That's why I think that keyword research, keywords are still useful for understanding your topical authority. Like, this is all linking back to topical authority, right? You'll see the theme here. Keywords are still used for understanding your topical authority. Where does Google rank me for certain concepts, topics, things? What does it think I'm an expert in? That's useful. Trying to track individual keywords, or worse, I mean, all this, I hate to say it, like all this phrase tracking, LLM tracking stuff, that's all the buzz. I'm going to be controversial and say that has got a short shelf life, because prompt tracking does not work the same way as keywords. Prompt tracking is not the new keyword tracking. Like, the way you search, A, we don't have any prompt data to begin with. B, even if we did, the way you search for something is so unique that even if we did, it's just benign data. And C, it's so personalized that even if we did have all the data and we did have consistency in how people search for things, the personalization and the context windows would give you different results anyway. So how do you measure? How do you track any of that? Topical authority, your brand authority, your digital authority. That's what it all comes back to. How do you become the authority on this freaking thing? That's my response to, keyword tracking and LLM tracking.
Yeah, got it. And the question about the length of content, probably for experts, I don't know. I know many experts can say it's a very basic, generic question, but people still asking about that. So, I mean, like, in AI search can prefer content that not long, because according to data. It's not like I think like that. According to data, AI search can prefer content that's shorter, more concise to the query. But for many years, we wrote long content in order to cover all possible keywords. I mean, like to bring value. But today we can see a different picture. So, your thoughts about that?
This is something I find very I find this hilarious about the SEO industry, but I've learned it's not unique just to the SEO industry. We often, as SEOs, are victims of falling for very shallow thinking. Like we might go, oh, long form content is ranking really well. I'm going to do long form content. So what does everyone do? They use AI and they waffle on and they write these bullshit long pieces of information that say nothing, right? And then that works or doesn't work, that stops working, and then all of a sudden in AI, people saying, oh, I prefer shorter form. So everyone starts performing short form writing. Here's the reality. The reason why long form content used to rank really well was because that long form content that was written, like pre AI days, was really in depth content with really good, unique perspectives, sometimes unique data. Like if you look at any of Backlinko's stuff, the reason why that shit did so well was the content quality. It was long, but I
Yeah.
bet your ass you read every single one of those. You read to the end, right? Nowadays, people just kind of they make a point and then they just regurgitate long and long content because they think, oh, that's what the SEO game wants. Now we're seeing that AI wants short, structured questions answered. Yeah, to a degree. Structuring an FAQ with short, punchy answers that it can grab is a good tactic nowadays. Will that be forever? I don't know, but it is something to think about. Do I really write a lot of content thinking too much about that? No, I make sure it's grabbable by AI, but the content length, I think about when people produce YouTube videos, they're like, well, how long should a YouTube video be? It's like, well, YouTube video should be as long as it takes to cover that topic, right? Not longer, not shorter. Like, how long does it take you to reasonably cover what you set out to cover that someone might search for? That's how long that post should be, right? And it should be about your unique perspective, any unique data you have. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Would I reformat things to be shorter? Yeah, if you think it's going to be easier for people to read or digest. Remember, people have got a short attention span. But
Yeah.
that's why I think the true reason of that is not because Google or anything preferred it, but that's just what users preferred.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I liked Backlinko stuff. He was good with value and readability. So that was
Yeah,
interesting to read. So, and I remember when I spoke with Jim Edwards. So he worked in Business Insider for 10 years. He started on this company from scratch. Then company was sold for $500 million, and he said to me that. The success of Business Insider depends on creating non-boring content. So
yeah.
basically, Business Insider can bring value, but it's not boring. It's
Mm.
interesting to read, and people, users are impatient. If it's boring, they leave it. So it doesn't matter what kind of value you have. If it's boring, nobody wants to stick with that. So yeah, Harry, I have a lot of questions, but we have some audience. I think like we need to reply to their questions as well. So Danish is asking about fake reviews on Trustpilot and Google My Business to build brand authority can get penalty in 2026. What do you think about that?
Um, Businesses do this. You can get fake reviews on Trustpilot and you Google My Business. Is it a ranking factor? I mean, some of the content in the reviews might be. I think the less so the star rating you have these days, more the content in the reviews can be a ranking factor. Can you do it? Yeah. Can you get away with it? Maybe short term. But my problem with all these tactics is like, I think back to, and this is a bit of a tangent, but hopefully you guys get something out of this. I think back to a buddy of mine called Ned, and he won't mind me sharing this story. He jokes about it all the time. He started SEO with me 15 years ago, right? And he built a lot of websites and he's done a lot of black hat short term stuff. And he's made a bit of money over the years. He's made a few $100,000, which sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. But we talk all the time, and Ned goes to me, Harry, I just wish I did what you did. I wish I started like a company and like focus on long-term outcomes. Like now I've got this luggage brand, and I've got a couple other companies I won't talk about publicly that are doing really well from SEO that, just compounded over time. No black hat stuff, just compounding stuff. And Ned's like, I would have been worth like 20 million, 50 million if I had just done things a long-term way. And I think about that a lot. And I know it's a roundabout way of answering your question, but yes, you can do these things, and in the short term, they might work. In the long term, you're probably better off spending that time and money on shit that's going to pay you dividends in 10 years' time, not work for the next 6 months. So
Yeah.
I think about this ideal longevity. But yes, do those tactics work? Short answer, they can. Are they going to move the needle for your business? No. Are they going to be the difference between you making money and not making money? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a viable long-term business. No.
Yeah, I like your answer. I completely agree with that. I think like you mentioned about short term. Of course, I mean like what I can see when people are trying to manipulate the system, they depend on this manipulation, but all platforms are working to stop it. I mean, like Google has enough experience to find out all these black hat
Yeah.
methods. When you spend your time developing system to manipulate, you can spend this time to develop white hat SEO. So yeah, I
the,
mean, like
the time you spend trying to like cheat the system, that
yeah,
if you took that time and genuinely
of
built
course.
out good content, good outreach, good stuff, I guarantee I'll personally give you $1,000 if it doesn't pan out better long term doing that than doing some short term bullshit.
Of course, yeah. I mean, like you need to think about loan strategy. All companies are working on loan strategy. So if you invest all resources to find the way how to play by rules, results will come. So 100%. And I have the question from YouTube. What is the platform you are focusing on?
Platform like
Probably
you
Google,
talking about
ChatGPT, Perplexity. I don't know.
yeah, I foundationally actually it is a good question. So I'm not focused on like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or anything like that. Frankly, I'm still focused on Google. Why am I still focused on Google? Well, because still the bulk of our traffic comes from Google. But even if that wasn't the case, all the LLMs basically mirror the results we see from Google. We can't track it. All these LLMs are a black box. I can't tell the prompt volume, the data, what's going on, what's ranking, what's tracking, none of it. I can see that on Google. And I can tell you that it's every study we see, there was another one published the other day. I can't remember by who. It was like a 68%. I think it was not Rand. I'm drawing a blank. Anyways, like a 68% correlation between Google and these LLMs in like when you perform these fan out queries, which makes sense. It's the foundational stuff. So I'm focused on Google search. Having said that, I also think there's a lot of merit now, and this is where I think that where SEO and GEO differ, or they just merge and become the same thing. I think in SEO we never thought about YouTube, we never really thought about Reddit, we never really thought about any of that stuff. Now the biggest distinction between SEO and GEO is we do think about what comes up from Reddit, what comes up from YouTube. Is it a big distinction? It's big in the way we think. It's probably not big in what we do, but I think that'll become a part of SEO anyway. Like you wouldn't like put it this way, you're not going to be not doing that. So you're
Yeah.
going to be thinking about what comes up on Reddit, what comes up on YouTube. I really do think there's a lot of power and authority between, even building up a podcast like this and, being a guest on podcasts like this helps. Guess what? My digital authority
Of
helps
course.
with my, sharing that unique perspective. So I'm focused on all those different platforms because in this day and age, it's not just what content I publish on my blog, but it's what content others publish on their platforms that have audience and authority that then help me. It's actually very nice. It's a very nice circular system. But
Nice.
yeah, it's not a specific focus.
Yeah. Um, I have a few questions about alternatives. I mean, like, of course, focus on Google, but the last time I started to pay attention to different channels as well. For example, with one specific project, we increased ranking positions 3 times. So everyone ranks much higher today, but traffic decreased 3 times as well. So because of AI mode, AI overview help to them.
Yeah.
And so for some clients, we started to search for alternatives for different channels. And for example, I got 4 emails from Neil Patel, basically from Neil Patel Digital. And all these emails proposed me good experts who can speak on this podcast. So Neil Patel Digital sent me emails to propose some great experts. Basically, I check them, real good experts. But that was not cold email. That was not manually written. That was AI personalization. So I found a new
Yeah.
thing. So Neil Patel started to use email marketing because what we can see by now, neilpatel.com lost a lot of traffic. So
Oh, I think we lost him for a second there.
oh, sorry for that. Something happened with my connection.
All
But
good. So you're
yeah.
talking about Neil Patel lost a lot of traffic?
Yeah. So basically, Neil Patel had plus 2 million traffic. What we can see by now, he switched his attention from SEO. I'm not talking about the entire business model. I'm talking about the way of getting customers. So he paid more attention to YouTube now and email marketing. And when I've learned from these emails, I found that was AI personalization. So he used AI to personalize this message. I'm pretty sure that stuff that he used on these emails, that was AI written, because he mentioned, oh, I like to listen to your podcast. That's not true. Because AI said that. But it's not that I'm very picky about speakers. If someone can bring value, I don't care. They listen my podcast or not. I really don't care. If they can bring value to my audience, of course I can invite them. But I didn't reply to these emails because I waited for sequences. I need to learn what kind of other emails he can send to me. And we started to test the strategy by using Claude. So we personalized 10,000 emails with Claude API and paid for that $20. $20 to personalize a lot of emails, and we got real traffic. We got real traffic that we didn't expect, because for a long time we tried to use cold email, many different channels, but that didn't work well, because I think like everyone can get a lot of emails today, plus 100 emails a day, but AI personalization can work great. So you can encourage people to open links. And one more thing that we started to use last time, video marketing. So we publish shots on
Definitely, yeah.
and reels on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, everywhere. And for one specific project, in extremely expensive, competitive niche, online trading, that takes time for SEO, to build this authority, to create content. But we paid attention to YouTube. I was so surprised that Facebook Reels can provide millions views a week, millions views for AI generated videos. So we started to pay attention to alternatives, and that were great. I mean, like many different channels that we discovered more, and we got great results with AI personalization, AI video outreach. So basically, we can send video messages instead of text-based messages, and video outreach. So, Harry, can you tell about your methods? I mean, like alternatives to SEO today.
I think, look, regarding Neil Patel and all that kind of stuff, I think it's very fascinating. I think it's interesting. I think the reality is, look, I think SEOs look at the wrong metrics. We think about traffic all the time. Traffic is not the metric any more than it is keyword. It's about conversions. I don't know how much traffic the StudioHawk website gets, but I can tell you, like I said earlier, 40% of all our leads come through SEO. And that powers enough pipeline. We're growing at 30 to 40% year on year. We get a lot of inquiries through that, through AI, through SEO. And this is coming from a company, like, we didn't believe that SEO worked for an SEO company. I always used to say, like, it doesn't work. It's not the kind of leads we get. We get these massive enterprise Fortune 100 companies come to us, like QuickBooks found us through our SEO. So I totally understand Neil Patel, like dropping traffic and diversifying is always a good technique. Like we do email, we do trade shows, we do ads, we do all sorts of stuff. But I think, you've really got to focus on conversions rather than just traffic. But
Yeah,
yeah, I definitely agree with video. I'm doing a lot more video, but funnily enough, why am I doing video? Well, it's another channel. It's good to get views and that can be great. But I actually think that the video helps with my SEO.
yeah,
I
of
think
course.
that by doing that kind of content, it's just more different types of media that can potentially pull up and lend authority and credibility to StudioHawk. So I think we are seeing this age of SEO becoming a cultivation of a lot of different marketing efforts uh, with some different, bells and whistles on it and different things we might do. But yeah, I certainly think, but I always think the businesses should have diversified their marketing and growth. But
Yeah,
I for one, am so confident in the future of AI search and the fact that conversions, like, let me share some more data from our company. It takes about 4 weeks to close a company that finds us through SEO, right? 4 weeks. That's pretty good compared to a trade show where it takes us 2 to 3 months. These are enterprise deals. In AI, we close these deals within a week. Why? Why do they close so much faster coming through AI? It's because they feel like AI's recommended us, like it's a smart choice, like there's some authority or credibility behind it. Now, you and I both know ranking in ChatGPT is the same as, SEO, but the feel is different. And that's why I'm so confident about the conversion rate in the future of AI search.
yeah, I love it. I couldn't agree more with that because even when I compared um, data from neilpatel.com, so basically he got plus 2 million traffic. Today, some tools can show he has less than 50,000 traffic, but on that period of time,
Mm,
his net worth increased 3 times. So he lost
yeah.
plus 50 times traffic, but he grew his net worth because he started to pay attention to conversions. And he admitted that. He spoke on this podcast and he admitted that he wrote a lot of useless stuff about Instagram that was not related to his bottom funnel.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
didn't sell Instagram. Yeah.
Totally. And you lose that traffic.
Yeah.
And so what? Who cares? But you know what, man? You know what you build by getting rid of all that Instagram stuff? You build topical authority, and that's
Yeah.
the name of the game.
Yeah, nice, nice. And I have my final question. I think like it's very important question for youngsters. I never expected that I had this audience, but they followed me and still asking a lot of questions. So I want to get back to things that are happening now because tech companies laid off 65,000 people because of AI. And what I
Yeah,
can see today, companies are not looking to hire interns. So
sure.
you can
Juniors.
hire
Yeah,
interns, talented interns, and teach them. But if we speak about full picture about what are happening now,
macro.
companies are looking for AI agents that can replace interns, and it's not simple today to find the job that was like for many years when interns joined companies, did some very generic stuff, acquired experience, grew like experts. But today it's different. Can you tell, for example, let's imagine it's
Mm.
again, you have no money, you have no business, you have no skills. It's your first day in SEO, but today we have AI search. What will you do to acquire this experience and to become an expert in one day?
I would build a website. I would, just like the things that we would have done back in our day. You build a website, you do it for fun, you tinker with it, you learn a bit of like HTML or CSS or WordPress CMS management these days. And you start reading online, you start listening to podcasts like this, you start learning. I love that companies, well, I love and hate. I love that companies aren't giving those people a go because I think then I can get some freaking awesome people and I can give them a go. And you know what? They're going to be molded exactly how I want them to learn. They're going to be loyal because I taught them, and there's this human law of reciprocity across all cultures, and they're going to become great leaders one day. I think it's very short sighted for companies to not do that because companies are just expecting that they can just what happens when they run out of talent? Like, what happens? Genuine question. Like, we have a shortage of SEO talent. I know this. We have some of the most SEO specialists in the world in one place, and we have a shortage of SEO specialists we can hire. So what happens when we don't hire juniors? What's going to be the future in 5 years? Well, we're going to need a lot of experienced people, and there's not going to be anyone there. So look, I think, let's say in a world where you couldn't get a job because no one was hiring, first of all, if you're in the US, AU, or UK, reach out to us. But let's say you can't work for us, you're not in one of those regions, build a website, experiment with SEO. There's so many free training courses. We've got one we're relaunching called Hawk Academy. It's completely free. Why do we make it free? Why don't we charge for this thing when we could and it cost us 100 grand to build? Because I need more good people in SEO, and I'm happy to teach them. I want to teach them because I want to give back, and selfishly, they're going to be great SEO specialists and they can come work with us. Or even if they don't, they're going to work somewhere, but they're going to understand SEO to a level where it elevates the whole SEO industry. I hate this idea of locking knowledge behind secrets, or I don't like to talk about this. It's like, dude, a rising tide lifts all boats, right? And if we all elevate the quality of SEO, the perception of SEO, and what the average knowledge level of SEO is, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing for all of us. That makes all of us more valuable than just some cheap ChatGPT prompt.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And it's interesting about ChatGPT prompt because when ChatGPT was released, that was a new occupation like prompt engineering.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know what I can say today? It's that.
Yeah, 100%. It's so funny, you know?
Yeah, because I tested. I mean, like I played with many prompts. But today GPT can understand better any question. So you don't
100%.
need any prompt engineering
Yeah,
today. You can just ask questions and understand what you want to get.
exactly. But
Yeah.
yeah, I do think, I actually find, look, we've both been in SEO a long time.
Mhm.
I actually think this is one of the most exciting times to be a part of SEO.
Of
Like,
course.
nothing since Panda has been like this. Uh, and unlike Panda, Panda was known in the SEO world, and Panda was what, 15 years ago? That's a long time.
Yeah.
Unlike that, that was when I got my start in SEO all those years ago, and look at where that career has taken me now. SEO was called dead then. Unlike that, with this whole new technology, this whole new world audience, there's new people using AI search, there's new opportunities. I think the people that can understand the foundations of that and build the digital authority, build the topical authority, build brand authority on those platforms are just going to crush, just absolutely crush. Um, so yeah, please go out and learn SEO. Go build your own site, rank something. I mean, yeah, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, nice, nice. Harry, it's a big pleasure to get on my show. Thanks a lot. Next time, I will, when you join me, it will be night at my side. So big pleasure, because you know how to share these valuable bombs. Tell the best way how to keep learning from you, how to reach out to you, how to follow you.
Thank you. Yeah, so I've just started a YouTube channel that's Harry Sanders AU. So we talk about, like, what SEO looks like in 2026, sharing those valuable stories and stuff. It's brand new, so I'd appreciate any support or feedback. If you think it's shit, tell me it's shit. We'll improve it. Um, and that's probably the best way to, like, follow along, get in touch. I've also got an Instagram, which is Harry Sanders SEO, which is more of that short form kind of reels, talking about building the business, talent development, all that kind of stuff. So that's more your avenue. Head over there. But they're the best two ways of getting in touch and keeping in touch.
Awesome, awesome. I will subscribe to your channel and recommend to anyone to subscribe because you can see many things are changing fast. You need to adapt, and the best thing what you can do to learn and implement. Learn from great people like Harry Sanders, from many other experts, and implement, because what you can see when people can overlearn but do nothing. I mean, like it doesn't work. You need to learn, find ideas that can actually work for you. Don't chase all trends, because I can see when someone can share a study, okay, Reddit can work great. They're coming to Reddit to compete with people who can spend years on Reddit,
Yeah.
just to put some bullshit nonsense that nobody can.
Yeah.
So just focus on one strong side. Find what you love. It's very important because people burn out. When you focus on actually, what you like, content creation, PR, link building, doesn't matter. Just one site or management probably, and then you can get great results. Okay, guys, I will put all links to Harry Sanders to description of this podcast. Thanks a lot for listening us.